Hey, and welcome back. Today we are talking about sustainability. We are talking about how we can continue the healthy habits that we have started this year, maybe earlier last year, how we can continue it for the long term throughout the rest of this year, throughout the different chapters of our lives. Sustainability is key. How can we maintain and stay consistent with all of the behaviors that we're doing right now to best support our health? It is the last week of the Start Strong Challenge. I am so excited that you're here with me today. If you have not joined, it's not too late to join because you're still going to get all of the information. You're still going to get the workbooks and you're going to benefit from it, I think. Go to wellnessbyval.kit.com/Start Strong Challenge, and you are going to get all of the week's information, and that includes food plans, recipes, workouts, all of the things that you need to support behavior change and to create healthier habits. Again, today we are talking about sustainability. We are in it for the long run. How can we make this super easy for ourselves? I hope you enjoy today's episode. Welcome to the Strong and Nourished Mama podcast. If you're tired of wondering what healthy meals to make, feeling like you're running on empty, or struggling to make exercise fun and achievable, you are in the right place. I'm Val, a functional sports dietitian, prenatal and postpartum fitness coach, and a first-time mama. I've created a simple plan that lets you live healthy without strict rules, spending hours in the gym, and sacrificing delicious food while still having time for the things you love. It's time to embrace a fun, sustainable lifestyle where health is possible with a busy schedule, mama. So grab your coffee, settle in, and join me on this beautiful journey to becoming a strong and nourished mama. Let's dive in. Hey there, busy mama. Are you looking for a space to connect with like-minded women, stay motivated, and get fresh ideas to live a healthier, stronger life? Then I want to personally invite you to join our happy, healthy, and strong community completely free. In the community, you will be able to connect with other amazing moms, share your wins, and get support on your wellness journey. Whether you're looking for fun and effective workout routines or tips for nutritious meals that are easy to make for the whole family, we've got you covered. The link to join is in the show notes. Also, become an insider and you'll also get the latest podcast episodes delivered right to your inbox, along with exclusive content on boosting your energy, staying motivated, and making healthy choices even on the busiest days. To sign up, go to wellnessbyval.kit.com/insider. So to become an insider, go to wellnessbyval.kit.com/insider, and you will get all of this great information. It's time to prioritize you, mama. So what are you waiting for? Head to the links, head to wellnessbyval.kit.com/insider to join the community and sign up for my weekly newsletter. Let's crush those health goals together. Welcome to week 4 of the Start Strong Challenge. I am so excited. I can't believe it's already been 4 weeks. Today we are talking about finding balance and sustainability in your wellness journey. So this is the last week of the challenge. January is almost over, and we have talked about so much over the last few weeks. And what I really want to dive into is how do we make it so that we continue the behaviors, the habits that we have integrated so that we can stay consistent and we don't have to start all over again. So for example, when you have a goal of eating healthy, typically what's very common is people will do some sort of diet. They will pick a diet. Maybe they saw it on social media or in the news. They're saying, yep, I haven't tried that one. That is what's going to get me to lose weight forever this time. Let me do it. And it's unsustainable. It's not something that they continue. It's super restrictive. And then they fail and they feel like they can't continue. And it's this vicious cycle. So everything we have talked about this month regarding habits has been small things, small techniques that you can use and integrate to make it so that you can eat healthy. So using this example, you can eat healthy without being restrictive, without yo-yo dieting and having to go on a new diet every single year or every quarter or before summer every year, so that you can continue to stay focused and disciplined without getting overwhelmed. You can still enjoy life. Like, I want to be able to reach my goals. I want to eat healthy. I have specific goals in and out of the gym. And I also want to integrate flexibility because, hey, I love hamburgers. I love pizza. I love enjoying a glass of wine. And I don't want to feel like I can't do things with my family or my friends or enjoy what I love because I'm being so restrictive. Today, we are focusing on balance. Balance is key. That is my jam. I am all about balance with sprinkled discipline. We're sprinkling in some discipline here and there. And we also want to think sustainability. We want to think long term with our habits, especially the habits and the goals that you are working towards. Because we cannot rely on willpower and self-control 100% of the time, because self-control is short-term. It's a very short-term strategy. It is not for the long term. We cannot rely on getting to our goals for just willpower and self-control. Like, I'm just going to stick it out. Like, that's not going to happen. You're setting yourself up to fail. So that's why over the last few weeks, we've talked about various techniques, habit stacking, implementation intentions. We've talked about our values because we really have to think about what we value and the person we want to become and bring that in to behavior change so that we can actually do what we want to do and reach the goals that we have set for ourselves. We also need to think about our environment. We need to set our environment up for success so that we don't have to rely on willpower or self-control. It's just easy. And we aim and focus on balance and sustainability. So let's first start with all or nothing mindset, the all or nothing thinking. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's a problem, and we want to shift away from that. First, we have to become aware if that's how we are currently thinking. And then we slowly shift away from that. So all or nothing thinking is where you go all out. Let's say at the beginning of the year, since it's still January and we have New Year resolutions, or maybe it's summertime and you're wanting to fit in a bathing suit. Maybe it's your first time in a bathing suit since you've had a baby and you go all out. You're very restrictive. I can't eat this. I can't do that. I have to go to the gym 7 days a week for 60 minutes at least. I have to make every single meal at home. You're going all in. Now, what happens when you do that? You're going to be burnt out. You're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to feel tired. It's not sustainable. It's not something you can keep up with. It's so many new behaviors integrated at once. And so you end up giving up. And then you go to that nothing, right? You were all in and now it's screw it. Or a lot of the times people refer to it as the F it's, right? F it. I'm done. I'm eating the whole pizza. I didn't allow myself to have one slice at all the last 3 weeks. Now I'm having the whole pizza every single day. And so we go from the super restrictive mindset to the screw it, I don't even care. I'm going to do whatever I want. But what if we went somewhere in the middle? What if we had some guidelines and we focused on balance when it came to eating and movement and sleep and stress and enjoying fun foods and maybe some wine or taking a break from the gym or whatever it is? You have these guidelines instead of focusing on perfectionism, because guess what? Perfectionism, it doesn't exist. It does not exist. So we are chasing something that we are never going to get to, and that is setting ourselves up for failure. So we have to first become aware of, do we have this all or nothing thinking? And if we do, we need to start to shift from that all or nothing to these guidelines. So if you start to notice, man, I'm going all in, I'm going balls to the wall again, and I'm doing a little bit too much, and I'm starting to notice that it's not sustainable, it's a little overwhelming, how can you shift from that to a guideline? You know what? Instead of walking every day for 60 minutes, maybe I walk 3 times a week for 15 minutes to start. That is success. If you can keep that up, that is success. And that is amazing. So instead of saying, no, I'm just going to give up on walking and never walk again, and compared to going all in of I'm going to walk 7 days a week for 60 minutes, you're finding this middle ground. You're saying, hey, 3 times a week, I need to get outside and go walk for 15 minutes. And if I walk more than that, great. If I need to split it up, great. That's okay. So we notice if we are doing this all or nothing thinking, if we have this mindset and then we try to shift towards those guidelines, it's going to take time, especially if this is something that you have been struggling with for a long time. If this has been your mindset for years and decades, then it's going to take time, and understanding that and giving yourself grace is going to be so important. I want to emphasize the importance of finding flexibility in your routines and showing yourself grace when this happens. Life happens. Something's going to come up. You're not going to be able to go to the gym when you plan to, but you probably could do something else later in the day. Maybe you play with your kids in the living room. Maybe you do like a dance workout. Maybe you go to the park. Maybe you go somewhere because it's really cold outside this week. Maybe you go somewhere where you can walk indoors. Maybe you go to the aquarium. The aquarium where I live is like 5 minutes long, so I'd have to do the aquarium. I'd have to go through the aquarium like 5 times probably. I'm just joking. But do something else later in the day or maybe the next day. I woke up sore and very tired. I'm going to listen to my body. I'm going to honor what my body is communicating with me. I'm going to take a day off from exercise, and maybe I focus on stretching and breathing. And I can do the workout that I had planned. I can do that tomorrow. I can kind of shift things around this week. That's okay. That's going to be a lot better than you going all in and then giving up and never doing it again and having to start over either 6 months later or 12 months later. Now, when we're talking about creating habits that support our health and wellness and that get us to our end goal, what does balance look like in that habit formation? Balance is about making space for wellness without overwhelming yourself, which is so easy to do nowadays. It is so easy to be overwhelmed with the nutrition advice, the exercise advice, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And when you think about it, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to do all these things. Like I'm going to have no time for literally anything else. I'm going to have to quit my job. Like what's going on? But if we can focus on having balance when it comes to our health and wellness, we will be able to continue these behaviors without overwhelming ourselves. So the key principles of finding balance: 1, setting realistic goals. We talked about this in the first week of the Start Strong Challenge. We want to aim for progress, not perfection. Again, that doesn't exist. We got to get away from that because that's going to lead us to that all or nothing mindset, and it's going to set us up for failure. When we set realistic goals, we are going to be able to reach them. We're going to be able to be more productive. It's going to be easier for us. We're going to succeed. We can celebrate that, and we're going to get that much closer to our end goal. Another key principle for balance is allowing room for rest and enjoyment. Do something that's fun. You don't always have to go to the gym to work out. You can do something fun with your family. Maybe it's sports with friends. You don't always have to make every single meal at home. You can go eat out and still enjoy a colorful salad and maybe some fun foods and a good amount of protein, or whatever you're enjoying that day. And also taking time for rest. Maybe setting time for your pre-bed routine like we talked about earlier this week. Maybe it's a morning routine. Maybe it's something in the middle of the day where you can integrate rest. Maybe you're doing it with your family. And then the last key principle of finding balance is avoiding those extremes. So restrictive diets or overly intense workout routines, we want to get away from that. We want to avoid the extremes, again, going back to the guidelines and doing things that are realistic for us. If you're wanting to add in resistance training, going every single day, even 5 times a week for 60 minutes, that's a lot on your body, mentally and physically. It's going to be overwhelming. You're going to be super sore. You may hurt yourself, and you're not going to want to continue. It's going to make it very difficult. So if we avoid that extreme and say, hey, you know what? I'm just starting out. I'm going to start with 1 to 2 days a week on non-consecutive days of doing some sort of resistance training. And instead of doing 60 minutes, I'm going to start with 15 minutes, and I'm going to do it at the house. I'm going to do a YouTube workout. I'm going to do some body weight, and then I'm going to progress from there. Maybe you hire a coach or focused progressive planning where you can actually build each week and each month. So the key principles of balance: setting realistic goals, allowing room for rest and enjoyment, and avoiding extremes. Some other examples could be prioritizing nutrient-dense meals most of the time, but leaving space for treats, those fun foods. That's okay. You can follow that 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to make sure that I'm getting nutrient-dense meals with protein and lots of colors and plant foods. And 20% of the time, 20% of the week, I'm going to add in some flexibility for some treats. That may be food, that may be a glass of wine. For me, it's usually a combination in the social aspect of, hey, I'm going to meet with my friends tomorrow night and we're going to probably have a glass of wine and some pizza. Or we're going to go out to eat at a restaurant we haven't been to in a while. Allowing for that flexibility is so important. And then we want to build in those small habits, those behaviors that are manageable. So instead of saying, hey, you have to drink 120 ounces of water a day, let's start with just 1 glass of water a day or 1 extra glass of water daily. Let's dive into some tips for building sustainable habits. When we're talking about sustainability, we're talking about for the long term, because I'm thinking long term so that I can keep up with my kids, so that I can eventually keep up with my grandkids, so that when I reach perimenopause and postmenopause, I have strong bones and strong muscles, that it's easy for me to continue to focus on my health without feeling like I'm being restrictive or missing out. That's what we're talking about with sustainability. We want habits that are here for the long term, not the short term, okay? So we have to start small. Let's focus on 1 to 2 things to change at a time rather than overhauling your entire routine. So if you're sleeping 6 hours, you're making 1 to 2 meals at home, and you're exercising once a week, and you go from that to, I'm going to sleep 8 hours a night. I'm going to make every single meal at home, breakfast, lunch, dinner, 7 days a week, and I'm going to go to the gym 5 times a week. We're doing way too much at once. It's not going to stick. It's not. Maybe you keep up with it for 4 weeks, 2 weeks, but it's not sustainable. Just choose 1 to 2 things, small things that are going to help get you to your goal over time. And once you feel comfortable with that, then you add on something else. You're only changing 1 to 2 things at a time instead of overhauling your entire routine. Ain't nobody got time for that. And then we also have to talk about stacking habits. Habit stacking. We talked about this in a previous week where we pair a new habit with an existing one. Stretching while watching your favorite show. That's something I've been doing because I want to watch my shows, I want to watch TV, but I also want to stretch more and do some mobility. So I'm going to bring those 2 together. Plan for obstacles and challenges. It's going to happen. Life happens. How can we stay consistent even when life gets busy or busier? Have a backup plan for your workouts or healthy meals, something that's easy that you can just pop in the microwave or that you can quickly grab from the grocery store, or a workout that isn't going to take as much time. Hey, today's a really busy day. I want to get in movement. I always feel good after, but I don't have time to go to the gym. So instead of just saying, hey, screw it, I'm done, I'm a failure, I can't do it, or maybe just pushing the boundaries and limits a little bit for that day, maybe you just do 15 minutes of body weight stuff. Maybe you do some gentle yoga. We have to plan for obstacles, and we have to be flexible, and we have to have a backup plan. Track your progress, not your perfection. Doesn't exist. I have to say it all the time, and that's okay. It's going to take a lot, especially if we are in that perfectionist mindset and a type A personality, and we're doing this all or nothing thinking. We have that mindset. It's going to take a lot of times to hear that perfectionism doesn't exist. So we want to track progress. Use a journal, use an app, and celebrate your wins no matter how small. Okay, so we're staying consistent. Man, over the last month, I was able to eat 3 meals at home. I was able to make 3 meals. That's a lot better than what it used to be. It used to be I would eat out every single meal. This last month, I was able to get 8,000 steps most days of the week. That's awesome. So we're using our tracking to help keep us on progress, to help keep us on track, to help us progress and reach those goals, to continue these habits. We also want to make sure that we are adding in that celebration. So you're celebrating your wins, no matter how small. So we talked about B equals MAP, behavior equals motivation plus ability plus prompt. We need to add in a C to that. And I've been waiting to talk about this. The C is celebration. celebrate and bring in that positive emotion, because that is what's going to help you continue this behavior. Man, I feel good after I walk. Man, I feel so energized when I eat enough protein and I have a balanced meal. I feel so good when I wake up after I focused on a pre-bed routine the night before because I actually slept well. If we add in that celebration and that success, and it can look different for every behavior and for every person. If you want to jump up and down and say, yes, I did it, you totally can do that. Even just showing up to the gym for 10 minutes, walking on the treadmill and leaving, celebrate that. Guess what? You did it. You woke up, you went to the gym, even if it was only for 10 minutes, you did it, celebrate it. And then we need to revisit your why. Go back to the 5 whys deep, revisit your why, the root reason why you want to reach this goal that you have set for yourself. Remind yourself of your deeper purpose for building these habits, and think about who you want to become. In order to get to the goals you have set and the habits that are going to get you there, and to be able to do that every day, who do I need to become in order to accomplish that? So we're really diving into our deeper purpose so that we can continue to focus on these habits and continue to work through them. And last but not least, let's focus on self-compassion, because this is so important. Behavior change is hard. If it was easy, we wouldn't be talking about any of this, and no one would have any issues reaching their goals or changing their habits. So we have to work on self-compassion, because reaching your goals and focusing on these behavior changes, it takes a lot of work. Self-compassion is essential for long-term success. You're giving yourself grace, you're being kind, you're understanding like, hey, life happens, I need to be flexible, I need to change some things. This is new to me. It's not something that I've always done. We have to reframe setbacks as learning opportunities, trial and error. If guilt starts coming in, if it starts creeping in, see it, become aware of it, and let it go, and focus on your progress. And that's where what we can talk about in the free community, the Healthy, Happy, and Strong Mama community on Facebook, where you can ask questions, you can have some accountability, we can check in. You have other moms going through the same thing, and even throughout different stages of life as you, and that can be so helpful. We want to focus on your progress and get out of that guilt and that all or nothing mindset. So since it's the last week of the Start Strong Challenge, I want you to take some time to reflect on your progress. Even if it's the smallest thing, what is one thing, one behavior, what happened over the last few weeks that you are proud of? And you can share this in our live workshop next week. It's going to be our last live workshop, and I want to hear what you think about your progress over the last few weeks. What went well? What didn't go so well? What do we need to bring some attention to? And I want you to identify 1 or 2 habits that you feel like you're ready to continue long term, so that you can start to progress and build on top of this habit. If you're walking most days of the week, maybe we add in another day, maybe we increase the time, maybe we change the intensity. But I want you to identify 1 or 2 habits that you feel like you're ready to continue long term. And play around with journaling. Here are some journaling prompts that I have for you. What habit or habits have made me feel my best this month? Take some time to think about that, reflect on it. You can journal it, you can write it down, you can share it in the free community. You can simply reply to my emails. You can talk about with a friend or a loved one. But what habit or habits have made you feel your best this month? And then the second prompt, what adjustments can I make to keep these habits sustainable? Do I need to make any adjustments? Do I need to challenge myself a little bit more? Do I need to dial back a little bit? I want to make sure that these habits are sustainable. So what do I need to adjust in order to get there? And don't forget to celebrate your wins, big or small. I don't care what it is. I am so happy that we did this challenge. I hope you guys got so much out of it. We have talked about so much. As a recap for today, we have focused on balance and sustainability long term. And this is something that we can continue to discuss in the group. You can always schedule a coaching session with me and we can talk about it one-on-one and we can really dive a little bit deeper. But we want to make sure that we shift away from that all or nothing mindset, that we find guidelines rather than these strict or rigid rules, or maybe like, hey, screw it. I'm not going to do it anymore. We want to kind of go into the middle. And then we want to talk about and think about the key principles of balance, setting realistic goals, allowing room for rest and enjoyment, and avoiding those extremes. Start small, so focusing on 1 to 2 changes at a time. Stack habits, so pair a new habit with an existing one. Plan for obstacles and challenges because they're going to come up. Have a backup plan, be flexible. Track your progress, not your perfection. Revisit your why. Why is this important to you? And add in celebration. Celebrate even the smallest of wins and give yourself some self-compassion. Give yourself some grace. Be kind because things are going to happen. Reframe your setbacks as learning opportunities instead of, hey, saying screw it and going back to that all or nothing mindset. I hope you all enjoyed this Start Strong challenge. I hope to do more challenges like this throughout the year. If you have any ideas, let me know. And don't forget, if you like, schedule a coaching session with me so that we can dive a little bit deeper. And remember that your wellness is a journey. It is not a destination. So enjoy the ride and do what is fun. Thanks for tuning in. Hey mama, I hope you loved today's episode. If it resonated with you, would you please take 30 seconds to share it with another mom, a mom who's looking to make healthy eating and exercise easier, because we need that. And if you haven't yet, I would be so grateful if you could leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts. It truly means the world to me and helps the show reach more amazing moms like you. All right, time to chase my toddler around. Stay strong and nourished, and I will be back on Monday with another episode. Talk soon.